someone. Learn off of them, one-on-one. Now, that can be really expensive, cost thousands of dollars. But I have a program that you can join for 10 days free.
Go to philsgang.com and sign up for a free 10-day trial. Phil Grande has developed tools to teach you how to invest in stocks properly. Not only when to buy stocks, but how to sell stocks short.
85% of people in the market lose money. Get out of that group by just joining Phil's gang.
Now you can learn to invest like a pro with a pro, Phil Grande. Take advantage of this special offer for a free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Try it. 10 days free.
That's philsgang.com.
philsgang.com.
What does it take to be a successful investor in the stock market? Developing your skills and learning from an expert like Phil Grande and philsgang.com.
It doesn't have to be hard or complicated to learn how to invest in stocks properly. It's like anything else. You're going to golf, or you're going to learn how to play tennis, ski. You need to be with someone. Learn off of them, one-on-one. Now, that can be really expensive, cost thousands of dollars. But I have a program that you can join for 10 days free.
Go to philsgang.com and sign up for a free 10-day trial. Phil Grande has developed tools to teach you how to invest in stocks properly. Not only when to buy stocks, but how to sell stocks short.
85% of people in the market lose money. Get out of that group by just joining Phil's gang.
Now you can learn to invest like a pro with a pro, Phil Grande. Take advantage of this special offer for a free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Try it. 10 days free.
That's philsgang.com.
philsgang.com. You're not alone. 80% of those in the stock market, just like you, lose money. Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Why do they lose? Because they don't know how to short stocks in down market. That will change once you use my patent Pro 2 color-coded chart. It works. The technology works. And it not only gives you an edge on the upside, but Pro 2 will put a smile on your face on the downside. That's right. Check it out. Free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, if you really want to make sense of this market, you can't be listening to the fake Business News Network. They will not tell you the truth. They're to get you excited, to make sure you go out and you're happy so you'll buy something. That's not what we do here at Phil's Gang. We give you the truth, the direction, and that's what you need. Listen to me on my radio show each day and also on my Rumble and YouTube channel podcast. philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grande.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market, or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. When the stock market is volatile, how do you invest intelligently?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. There's no need for you to be panicking in a market that goes up 800 points one day, 700 points, then it goes down again. All you need is good advice, need good direction. You don't get that from your CNBC and the Fox Business and all these crazy shows. You don't. Here's what you get from them. Thank you, Jim Cramer. But this is something this really bugs me. Listen to this.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What? Their responsibility is to their partners and shareholders and not to you? Check my site out, philsgang.com.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need the experience of Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
What a difference it makes in your financial life. philsgang.com. It works.
I signed up, and I've learned an incredible amount from Phil and Steve. The staff at Phil's Gang gives platinum-level service and stock recommendations. You know, it's as simple as that. At the end of a month or so, I've always been in the black. Phil's Gang is a class act. I'm happy to be a member.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
Sometimes when the White House speaks about inflation, it sounds like they're expecting prices to come back down. So inflation is declining, prices should decline. That's never going to happen. Prices are going to stay where they are because the costs are there. And yes, the rate of inflation is down, but prices are still going up.
Well, no kidding. Now you're saying that? My Lord, we've been talking about this for what, a year and a half? Unbelievable. Anyways, I hope you had a long weekend, a great long weekend. We did here. Now back to work. We're coming back into a stock market that can't find its footing. That's right. Because remember, the stock market, as I said, we are going to have a crash. Many of you say, that's not going to happen. You're wrong, Phil. No, I'm not. It will happen. Now, when will it happen? I don't know. But it's sure being all the components that's needed for an inflation is sure here. I don't want to go through them all. There's a list of them. I talked to them about them many, many times. But inflation is not done with. Now, and another thing, too, it's not like we sit around here waiting for the market to crash. We don't buy stocks. Are you kidding me? We bought stocks when nobody was buying the banks or the tech stocks at the end of October 2023. If you remember, from July 2023 to October, our gang members, we shorted both the banks and we shorted the tech. And we did very well. Then we turned around when everybody else thought it was going to continue to go down. I knew it wasn't going to go down. I knew the Fed would interfere like they have been doing with every time a crash is ready to expand. They come in and they stop the crash. They interfere with the free market. We saw that happening from July down to October 2023. It did. And then the market rallied 23%, and we caught that rally. Not only did we catch that rally, we stayed with the banks, we stayed with the big tech stocks, but now you got to be aware, a rotation is going on. Hasn't started yet, a little bit started, but everybody's still going to be jumping on these tech stocks, and you're going to get hurt. Because smart money is starting to rotate out of those tech stocks. Smart money's made a lot of money in these tech stocks since October 2023 to January 2024. They're out of favor now. You can go and buy NVIDIA all you want, just like in 2008. Everybody's buying Cisco and all, 2 or 3 different popular stocks. What happened? But you got to start looking forward. There is going to be a rotation. But, Americans are really just getting to realize we have inflation, and it's here. Remember, we've been lied to that they're going to cut rates 3 to 6 times. They can't cut rates. It's impossible to cut rates. Most people don't understand where the inflation came from or what it is or how it forms. It's like some magic act. Now, I'm not saying they can't decide to do what's best for Wall Street, the top 101% and the top 1% who run our Congress and who are on Wall Street, they could turn right around. Remember, they own the White House. They own the Federal Reserve. They control the Federal Reserve. They control 89% of the stocks. They could at any moment tell them, we want you to go back to another QE. We want you to go back to zero rates, no matter the consequences. Meaning, if you go back again to zero rates right now with the inflation that we have, when you got yields, the short-term Fed rate, the rate at which the Fed charges banks overnight, then the banks take that 5%. Right now, it's 5.3%. So when a bank opens the next morning, that's their cost, 5.3%. They're going to mark it up to you, 7, 8, 9, 10%. Now, if they're going to go back to QE, are you kidding? Go back to zero rates? Do you know what the inflation would be? Inflation right now they're lying to us about inflation. Inflation is not 3% or 4%. Everybody knows that. I mean, you judge inflation by gasoline, you judge inflation by your food, your energy. And if you did that from the day the Democrats took control of the White House, Biden took control of the White House, inflation's not up 3.2%. Inflation's up minimum 13%. If we're going to cut from 13% back to zero, do you understand what would happen? A loaf of bread would be $75. Sure, the stock market would go up again, Nvidia would go up, and Meta would go up, and everybody jump in the same 7 stocks, and those stocks would go up for maybe a month or so, and then that would be it. Because you'd put this country right into a depression, for God's sakes. That inflation has nowhere to go. But the sad part is you can't convince people there's going to be a crash. And in the meantime, say, look, there's going to be a crash. Just be aware of it. Prepare yourself for it so that you know how to sell short. Prepare yourself for it so you see the signals and you understand the signals. That's the important thing. When I keep saying the market's going to crash, I know it's going to crash. I've been doing this a long time. It's going to crash. I can't give you the date, but what's wrong in being prepared for a crash? Having plan A and plan B. If they don't go back to zero rates. That's all I'm saying. And the stocks that we've been in that are long are still doing great. We've been in Nvidia since October of 2023. All those stocks. But again, because people don't really understand inflation, but here's what they do understand. They don't understand it. They don't know where it comes from, but they feel it. And now, I think for the first time, they're really just realizing how bad inflation is. I think they're just starting to realize, I think we have inflation. They're starting to realize why presidents, all the ones that have marbles in their heads, feared inflation the most. Because the presidents hate inflation, except for this guy, hate inflation because it erodes the purchasing power of our dollars. And and when you erode the purchasing power of your dollar, that's the single biggest cost of inflation. It disrupts everything, from import to export, everything you do. It erodes your income. It erodes your savings. It erodes your pensions, your 401ks. And even though you see the stock market going up, it's eroding your 401k and your pensions and your savings and your income. June of 2022. Think about that. Go back a little bit. When inflation hit 9.1%, that was the biggest increase in 40 years. How the hell did that happen? You remember June 2022? That was crazy. Well, remember, it was funny when that happened because the Fed started to increase rates 8 times. 4 times 75 points, 1 time at 50, and 2 at a quarter, I think. Are you kidding? That's the equivalent of bringing a water gun to a California forest fire. Unbelievable. It was all for show. You can't control that inflation, nor do they want to control the inflation. The owners, our owners who control the Federal Reserve, control about 90% of the stock market. They don't want you to kill inflation. It would kill their wealth. But the cause of inflation kept increasing. And where does it come from? Where does it really come from? We'll talk about that when we get back. Don't miss this.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. What does it take to be a successful investor in the stock market? Developing your skills and learning from an expert like Phil Grande and philsgang.com.
It doesn't have to be hard or complicated to learn how to invest in stocks properly. It's like anything else. You're going to golf, or you're going to learn how to play tennis, ski. You need to be with someone. Learn off of them, one-on-one. Now, that can be really expensive, cost thousands of dollars. But I have a program that you can join for 10 days free.
Go to philsgang.com and sign up for a free 10-day trial. Phil Grande has developed tools to teach you how to invest in stocks properly. Not only when to buy stocks, but how to sell stocks short.
85% of people in the market lose money. Get out of that group by just joining Phil's gang.
Now you can learn to invest like a pro with a pro, Phil Grande. Take advantage of this special offer for a free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Try it. 10 days free.
That's philsgang.com.
philsgang.com.
With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG. Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What are you, nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grande can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners and shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. If you invest in the stock market, take a moment for this important advice.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You've got to stop listening to the fake business news networks because they tell you what you want to hear instead of what you need to hear.
Phil Grande guides you step by step on investing.
You're going to know exactly what the tone of the market is. Do I sell? Do I not sell? Do I buy?
All you need to know is philsgang.com.
Check it out, philsgang.com, philsgang.com.
When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. but more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
There's this very powerful and seductive narrative around this being a soft landing, and we're just not seeing it in the data.
Well, you're not going to see it in the data because we only have one soft landing in 75 years? One soft landing in 75 years, and they think they're going to have a soft landing. Are you nuts?
I would argue that all the data has pointed to better economic growth.
Are you kidding me? Better economic growth. I don't know what these people are looking at. But let's go back to inflation and what it really means and what are we going to do with it? Because it's going to destroy our lives, our financial lives, if they don't do something. And they let it go for too long, for 14 years. For 14 years. Insane. So the cause of inflation always comes from the increase in money supply. Now, money supply that circulates through our economy is like all the cash we have in the banks and coins and different bank accounts, commercial accounts, savings accounts, treasuries we have at the bank, or all that. It's the aggregate of putting all that stuff together, and it's in circulation. It's called the money supply. And when they start printing too much of it to get the economy going, you get in trouble because it starts outpacing your productivity. You can't produce enough. So your money supply gets bigger and bigger, and you can't produce. So that's where the inflation starts. But here's what you need to know. Money supply, the reason they don't talk about it very much, and it's for a good reason, because money supply is directly related to inflation, which is directly related to the Federal Reserve. They're responsible for the inflation because they're responsible for the money supply. That's why they don't want to talk about it. And the Federal Reserve, which is, remember, that is directly been related for 14 years to the country's three biggest scams that contribute to the majority of the inflation that we have. When I'm talking about scams, starting with QE in 2009, zero rates, that was a scam. Obamacare, 2010. People have no idea what a scam that was. Huge scam. And it's costing us tremendous amount of inflation. Almost the majority of inflation is coming from healthcare. That was a scam. And then Bidenomics in 2021. All three of those have been created by the Federal Reserve. That's why people tell you got to get rid of the Federal Reserve, because the Federal Reserve does little well. The Federal Reserve doesn't do anything well because they're not working for you or me. They're working for Wall Street and members of Congress who are part of Wall Street. The Federal Reserve has masked all these Wall Street scams that they funded since 1913, since the inception of Federal Reserve. They've been masking this, and they use what they call their phony mandates, price stability and full employment. That's all phony. That's to mask they're responsible for the inflation and for the scams. They've been into scams since 1913. But the scams started to accelerate, remember, with inflation. The scams accelerated with the expansion of inflation, meaning the expansion of money supply. The expansion started just at the end of 2008, going to 2009 when Obama got involved. And the first scam they used called QE, quantitative easing. Now, QE is simple. The Federal Reserve controls the money. The money. They control the money supply through what they call QE, quantitative easing, the process of massive money printing. It's really extremely inflationary. The Fed would then use the money to purchase from the cash poor, or they call reserve poor, banks. So if you remember 2008, 2009, the 5 biggest banks were ready to close down. The government pretty much took them over, and they still own them today. So they had to shore up those banks. So they printed this money. They took the money. They went in and bought all their subprime loans, all their garbage, all their bad treasuries they weren't making money on, and they put it on their balance sheet. That's what they do. So then what happens is the banks turned around, and now they got money at zero interest because the Federal Reserve, after they bought all their garbage, now the bank's sitting here with, say, a reserve of $30 million. Now they tell each bank, they have $30 million each, go to the CEOs of the companies, give them money, lend them the money. Why don't you make a little money, like maybe from 0.25% to 0.5%, 1%. And then the CEOs go, wow, thank you. Now, and they took the money, and they would simply buy their own shares. By buying their own shares through stock buybacks, all they do is they're eliminating the amount of total shares they have outstanding, which you and I buy and sell. And when they eliminate the amount of shares outstanding, what that does, it pushes up earnings, which pushes up the stock price without having to have profits. It's a scam. It used to be illegal. So that was the first scam, and that's where the inflation started. Tremendous inflation in doing that. The next scam was the Obamacare scam. Now think about the first scam, QE. How much inflation? Remember, they printed from $7 billion to $22 billion to push the stock market up. Think about that. The market did not go up because of earnings. And every time you hear somebody talking about a stock and its CEO and the fundamentals are going to open up a company in Germany, you're going to do that's all crap. It's all crap. Used to be that way, but no more. Stocks go up with increasing money supply, giving to the CEO, buys his own shares, reduces the amount of shares outstanding, doesn't need profits, and all of a sudden earnings go up. It's called prosperity without profits. Now, the Obama scam. That's the one nobody talks about.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing is to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Phil Grande has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free. If anything, during that 10-day period, you're going to learn how the market really works. You're going to find information that you never had before. You're going to walk away and go, I didn't know that. So join my gang for 10 days free, philsgang.com. And you're also going to learn how to make money when the market goes down. It's kind of silly just sitting there when the market going down, hoping. Why hope when you can sell short and make money? Either way, you make money when the market goes up, you make money when the market goes down. That's the benefit of Phil's Gang. You make money.
Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level.
philsgang.com. Sign up free for 10 days.
Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grande.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market, or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG. Good investing means understanding how the stock market works.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, if you really want to make sense of this market, you can't be listening to the fake Business News Network. They will not tell you the truth. They're to get you excited, to make sure you go out and you're happy so you'll buy something. That's not what we do here at Phil's Gang. We give you the truth, the direction, and that's what you need. Listen to me on my radio show each day and also on my Rumble and YouTube channel podcast. philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard. Things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Welcome back. Learn, invest, and make profits with Phil Grande. Simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. Join my gang. I was talking before the break about Obamacare, but I was talking about we don't sit around here waiting for a crash to happen. I went over a few numbers. Give you an example. GE. We bought GE in November. That's up 30%. We bought Costco in November. It's up 20%. JP Morgan's up 19%. These are all that we bought in November. We bought NVIDIA we bought NVIDIA, it was January. Yeah, January. Again, we got in. First we were in it, then we got in again. January, up 39%. Now, I'm not saying every one of my gang members who joined the gang made that kind of profit. What I'm saying is every one of my gang members was educated to identify, rather, when to enter these stocks. How long they stayed in, it was up to them. Even if they entered, it was up to them. Well, if they followed our stock picks and how we teach, they would have got in at those times. So, try the gang. Try it for 10 days. It's free. But you got to prepare yourself for shorting, too, and we'll teach you that in your first 10 days. It won't cost you a thing. So check it out. Go to my site, philsgang.com. Also, remember, go to my... we're streaming this also, remember, we're on radio, but we're also streaming this on YouTube and Rumble. And also, we're on Instagram and YouTube. And that's cool because we got these little short segments we put on there, and people like those a great deal. All right, let's get back to the scam. All right, so we understand what QE is. One huge inflation mess that nobody cared about because Wall Street wanted it because they got filthy rich with inflation and the stock market going up. The scam was they promised, Obama, Bernanke, Pelosi promised, hey, not to worry. I just got into office. Here's what we're going to make you whole. We're going to get your standard of living back. We're going to take all this money called QE money. We're going to print all this money, billions of dollars, and we're going to give it to the CEOs. It's going to be less than, it's going to be a 0 to 0.5%. Now, I know you may be upset with it because you can't borrow that, but they are going to take that money and they're going to take it and increase productivity. They're going to buy, and they're going to do business investment, new machinery, new everything. It's going to spend a boatload of money on IT, and you are going to see your CEO take that company now, and it's going to burn. They're going to be producing so much, and you're going to have overtime, and your wages are going to come back. You're going to have your savings back. Your 401k will be going up. And that, I promise you, this is what he was saying, right, before he was elected, then after he got elected. It was all a lie. It's not what he did. Now, because what he did is he made Wall Street rich. That was the deal, because Wall Street put the money up to put him in the White House. So he made Wall Street rich. They got rich. Everybody else on Main Street got screwed, because all they got out of that was a boatload of inflation. And the 1 percentile control 89% of the stocks. So when you hear QE helped Main Street, no, it didn't. Now, the real terrible scam, was Obamacare, and nobody wants to talk about that. Because remember, health care costs in this country is killing us. It's killing us. And Obama ran on that. And we all know that when you go and you look at bankruptcy filings, the first thing on those bankruptcy filings, why did you file? It's always medical or health care costs. So he knew exactly how to get people attention while he was a candidate. We're going to take care of health care. Everybody's going to get free health care. Or if I can't get it free, it's going to be so inexpensive. But here's the problem. The architect, Jonathan Gruber, opened his mouth after and said, wait a minute, Pelosi, because remember, Pelosi was behind the scenes and out in front promoting him. Vote for Obama. We're going to take health care costs and get it down to nothing. But Jonathan Gruber said that Pelosi and Obama, and he brought it himself up and said, there's no way we can get health care costs down. It's like pushing an elephant through a thimble. You can't. Healthcare costs are out of control. The only way you could get healthcare costs down is in a free market. But Obama is not a free market guy. He's a socialist. He's not a free market guy. And so Gruber said it had to take a lot of luck to get this thing through. We have to be able to scam the people. We gotta first of all make sure as this bill's going through, it's not transparent. There's no transparency. Nobody can see it. And have Pelosi keep going out there and saying, you remember this? Where Pelosi went out every day.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
So that was the scam. Now the other scam was that they had a tough time in getting it passed. the CBO kept saying, this is a tax, remember? And the Democrats kept, no, it's not. Republicans, yes, it is. It's a tax. Well, they get the CBO so they wouldn't rate it as a tax. It was almost impossible. So Obama, Pelosi, and Gruber said, look, we got to bank on the on CBO, the bureaucrats, being as stupid as the voters. And what we'll do is we're writing that bill, we'll just make that bill, we'll just keep gumming it up, make it so confusing, trying to argue our position that it's not a tax, that they'll finally give up and they'll forget about the tax and they'll let it go. Because if they don't, if the CBO calls it a tax, there's no way we get Obamacare through. So that was the two schemes. And here he is. This is exactly what he said in his own words. This guy, where is it?
Call it the stupidity of the American voter or whatever. But basically, that was really, really critical to getting the thing to pass.
Imagine what was critical was the stupidity of the American voter. American voter wasn't stupid. They were stupid to trust Obama, even to today. See, Obama was a slick salesman. People trusted him. People there was petitions to get his push up on the Mount Rushmore, for God's sakes. Some wackies wanted him to be canonized as a saint. I mean, people really thought this guy was a saint, a wonderful man. They didn't realize he lied to them. He lied to them during the campaign. But at the end, here's the problem. At the end, when you take Obamacare and our health care, here's the word. What Gruber said is that he said, what we had to do is put the bill together so the CBO would not give it a score as a tax. We had to keep constructing the bill in a tortured way, quote, in a tortured way, and hope that the bureaucrats are as dumb as the voters. And that's how they got it through. Isn't that amazing? But now we're living with two. That's just two. Remember, you have Obamacare, which is huge inflation, and they never fixed it. It couldn't be fixed. Everything he said was a lie, and he and Pelosi and Gruber knew it before he was president, that what they were saying was a lie. But now you take QE on top of that. Now there's the third one. Now you're going to understand where all inflation comes from. The third one is just as bad. That's the monetary policies, Bidenomics, the American COVID Rescue Plan, the Inflation Reduction Act, the Omnibus Bill. Those were unbelievable expensive. And remember, they're funding the war in Ukraine. So that's where all the inflation comes. That's why they can't fix it. They can't fix this inflation by bumping it up 25 points, 50, 75 points. So what's the key is, never mind the inflation, what stocks do you buy? That's the key. We'll talk about that when we get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Why are investors listening to Phil Grande of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com.
When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's gang.
You know, when I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. This message is for those of you asking the question, what do you think the stock market is going to do?
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Well, you don't have to ask that question when you listen to my radio show, because you're going to know exactly what the market's going to do. You're going to know if the market's going to go up, you're going to know if the market's going to go down, or the market's not going to go anywhere.
Phil Grande and philsgang.com takes the worry out of investing.
Pay attention to my show, philsgang.com. It's fun, entertaining, and you get the greatest information, especially stock picks.
That's philsgang.com.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from. All that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grande.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. You know, it used to always be about fundamentals. It's not anymore. You got to understand, this inflation or this money, and this is what upsets me, that they don't talk about the money supply. Because they don't want you to understand what they're doing and how bad this money supply is. Because what you don't understand, or which I'm sure somebody does, but when you take and print this money and you inject this money, think of it, 7 billion, 22 billion. What's that? That's 9 billion? Something like that. What's there? 7 and 22, 8, 9, about 8 billion, right? Yeah, 8 billion, 9 billion, I think. Anyways, when you take that kind of money, billions of dollars, and you just shove it into the economy, shove it into the stock market. Remember where this money was going? It was going to the 5 biggest failed banks: Citi, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, you know them all. And they took the money and said, here, we're now going to take and buy all your garbage. And we'll put it on our balance sheet, and don't worry about it. You'll never get it back. In other words, if a subprime loan they wrote for $200,000 was worth about $20,000, they wouldn't give the bank 20. They'd give them the $200,000 at face value. This was insane. This is why we got all this inflation. Now you chug along, go to your Obamacare. Everybody knows the health care costs, even if your employer's paying for it. They keep your wages down. I always laughed about that. Remember, I ran a public company. I know how it works. Like your 401k, you think, oh, I'm getting a match, I'm getting a match. But remember what they do. You lose the value of that match through how they pay you. They in other words, let's say you're what you're doing should be worth $85,000. They'll pay you instead $65,000, $70,000. There's so many tricks they do that you get nothing for free. But going back to my point is that if they decide that, okay, Wall Street wants a rally, let's go back to QE. Oh my God. If we go back to zero, where they print money, go back to the banks, buy all their garbage, put it on their balance sheet, inflation would be horrific. But the market would go up. And the rich wouldn't care. If they go back to QE, that means the members of Congress who are very, very wealthy and Wall Street, they don't care. They don't care about the guy making $65,000 a year, married and 3 kids, just scraping by. They don't care. So what you need to understand is, okay, to protect yourself, what stocks group should I be in if they're going to do QE? Or what stocks am I going to be in if they're raising rates? What stock group should I be if they're lowering rates? What stock group should I be in if there's inflation? I just told my members this morning, and we've done very well. I said, I believe we're going to get a rotation back to oil and gold. And we've been buying very small amounts of oil and gold. Now, I'm not talking about the yellow stuff. I'm talking about GLD, the ETF, and for the gold stocks, and GDX, the miners. And we've been buying a little bit of that and some oil. And it's been working out for us. We're starting to see oil go up again. We see gold go. But you got to get in way before anybody else does. And I also said to him, and I don't mean get in with 1 million shares. Just get in with a couple shares. So you're watching it every day. And we track it every day. So they're way ahead. Remember, the market's forward looking. So you got to be ahead of it. And then you'll catch it when oil and gold goes up. And believe me, the dollar only has one place to go, is down. The dollar has nowhere to go but down. The dollar's getting destroyed because of all this inflation. Destroys the dollar. And they're not going to stop with inflation because it makes the wealthy wealthier. So I said the other thing you should do is we should start looking at rotating. Everybody's in these tech stocks. We did well in the tech stocks. Let's start rotating out some of these stocks. And let's go into some other groups. See if I can have them here. Okay, and I said, we'll go into some other groups. And one of the groups I said was, and I don't even like the group, was discretionary stocks. And I hate that group. But I said, you're going to see people starting to run to discretionary. You watch. I mean, that's just one example. And we had, let's make sure you get the right ones here. We had, with discretionary stocks. Oh my God, what else? What's it? Oh, leisure stocks. That's another one we did. Leisure stocks, discretionary stocks, box stores, some industrials. Discretionary, I'm talking about leisure, like airlines. We've been doing very well in Hyatt. We've done real with that. And then you have Carnival Cruise Line. Those are discretionary. And also like Amazon is a discretionary stock, if that makes a new high. But the problem with Amazon, all these stocks that gap up, look how they're all coming back down. People get excited like when Amazon was right around $159 and it gapped up to 172. People, get me in. I got to get me in before it goes higher. And they all piled on, and now it's all the way back down to 166. It'll probably go all the way back down to like 165. Don't buy these gap ups, even though they look good. Don't buy them. But the other stocks, discretionary stocks, instead of buying our tech stocks that we've been in and our semis, I said, start watching McDonald's. Start watching Starbucks. And now Starbucks is one. It's one right there. That thing's on its back. It's totally on its back. These are the ones we like to buy. So Starbucks, you go back a year, the high was at 114, and right now it's at 93. So that's an 18% drop. So what we're looking for is for it to base. What's that mean? Well, first the low was at $89, and Then it went up, came back, and made a new low that was higher at 91. That's called basing. That means it appears that the sellers are gone. So today we're down 160 points, I guess. And so you get 2 or 3 days where you keep pushing the market down and it doesn't go down any further. You go in and wait to buy just a little couple shares and then wait till our chart turns green. Then it's telling you big money's coming in, but don't buy until our chart turns green. And remember, too, we also shorted Starbucks. See, that's the nice thing. When Starbucks was flying high, it was at the peak of 114. It went from 106 to 140, and then it gave it all back. And then it started to drop from 107 all the way down to I think it was $89 or $90. So we were able to short it. See, that's the cool thing. We can short it as it dropped. In fact, one time we caught Starbucks back up here at, when was it, in November 2023. We caught a nice drop on that. So the point I'm making is that you just got to know what stock groups to be. Nike's another one nobody wants. Nobody wants Nike. Now, one nice stock we call power stocks are like GE. If a stock, if you go look at GE, you'll see we call these stocks power stocks. They're really, they have a nice consensus. They're nice and tight, making new highs almost every day. Those are the ones you want to be in. You don't want to be in the stock, and a lot of you make a big mistake. You don't want to be in a stock that, let's say, was at, I don't know, let's say the stock was at $100, and it dropped down to $25. People will start buying it at 25, right? But you got to remember, if you're going to do that, you got to be very careful. You got to know what you're doing. What you do is you should figure, okay, where's the high? Let's say just give you an example. Say the high is at 100, and let's say the low is at 50. Now you got to figure out what's the middle. So 100, that would be what? That'd be the middle. 75 would be the middle. So if the stock's at 25, you know it's going to be easy to get to 75. Why? Because everybody who shorted it, okay, down to a 25, they got to cover their position. Just say I made $5,000 shorting. Well, I don't actually make my $5,000 until I buy the stock back. So it will go up half very quickly and very easily. These are the stocks you should be in. So give us a chance. Go to our site, philsgang.com, and work with us for 10 days. First thing, you're going to learn how the market works. Most people don't even understand how the market works or how the bond market, affects your stocks. So we'll help you out. And then all we ask, if you don't stay after the 10 days, just remember St. Jude if you're making some money off our teachings. That's all. Send them a couple bucks once in a while. Join my gang, philsgang.com, so you're prepared in any direction.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.